Well, Ron Edwards from the Stampede will be here in just a few minutes, and we'll tell you more about the weather and the AccuWeather forecast. But before all of that, let's go traveling.
Traveling with Dan is presented by South Country Co-op.
This week's destination meets two of my requirements to visit a small community. It has a large roadside statue and a museum. Welcome to Torrington, Alberta, located about 3 hours and 20 minutes northwest of Medicine Hat. It's an hour and 12 minutes northeast of Calgary. And you're welcomed into the town by Gopher mascot Clem T. Gopher. The Gopher Hole Museum has been visited by people around the world, and it has earned its title of World Famous Gopher Hole Museum. Approximately 150 people visit this place a day, journeying across the province, the country, and even oceans to Alberta to stand in shock, wonder, and possibly have even some confusion at exactly what it is they're seeing. Get ready to witness a world of tourists and taxidermy. The museum structure is actually a 100-year-old historic schoolhouse, so there's a third reason for me to stop by this community, to see an interesting old building. And I cannot wait to see what is inside this building. Torrington once had a school, 3 restaurants, 3 general stores, gas stations, grain elevators, an arcade, even a comic book store, all markers of a thriving village. However, these days, the census has the population at less than 200 people, and gophers are the town's business now. So let's head inside and look at a few of them as they exist in Torrington. All right, when you step inside the world-famous Gopher Hole Museum in Torrington, the first thing you see is the gift shop. Staffed by a lovely woman, there was actually a few people in the museum when I arrived, so I had to wait a few minutes. But then it was my turn to go inside. And what you see are dioramas with gophers posed in different ways in them. And they were all awesome. All right, here's hunting season. Yeah. And the Torrington Welcome Tourists one. You see the gopher statue is in that one? Here's a gopher waiting for a train. And this one is called Moonlight Romance. And yes, truth be told, they're not actually gophers, but Richardson ground squirrels. However, people across the prairies call them prairie dogs or gophers. Gaynor the gopher is actually a Richardson ground squirrel, so all is good. They're gophers, right? And as the tour guide told us, the designs of the dioramas are actually an amazing way to see the history of the small town as it lives on. Most of what you see in the dioramas are based on things that actually happened in the town at one point or another. Like, for instance, wondering if he hit the rock, which is the caption in The Gopher That's Curling. And the people from the town managed to live on through the displays. Just like this one in the old arena. Some of the gophers have even been designed to resemble people who worked at each local business. No, that's not a gopher design, that's just me. The gophers continue to work as a snapshot of a town still there, but one that's changed. There's even a few displays that are a little bit bigger. They're located in the middle of the room. As for where the gophers come from, well, they come from where you think they come from. They come from the locals and people in the surrounding area. Then they're fixed up and posed. Our tour guide even told us that a hawk dropped one to the doorstep of the museum on occasion, if you can believe that. There's so much detail in each and every diorama, and the clothes are mostly old Barbie clothes that have been donated over the years. Here's 2 of my favorites. I love the library, complete with books, and the old-time music jamboree. Saturday night, and we're in the spot to be. Originally, the Gopher Museum only had 13 displays and was planned to last for only 5 years. 28 years later, there are still visitors coming from around the world, dropping a pin on this map in the museum to mark how far they've traveled. There was already one in Medicine Hat, but I put another one there. All in all, a tremendous place to visit. And on the day that I was there, it was packed. And as one group would leave, more cars would drive up, and all amazing to see. Oh, and there aren't just gophers to see in the world-famous Gopher Hole Museum. The town has fully embraced gophers at large, even painting each of their fire hydrants as a different gopher character. Now, you could ask for a scavenger hunt map at the museum to find them all. Here's Junior. The fire hydrant outside the church is wearing her Sunday best. And this guy looks like a homer, just looks like a homer. You know, I had another destination that I was originally planning to visit this weekend, but the minute I heard about the Gophers, I just had to go and see them. And I'm glad I did. It's a one-of-a-kind place that can only be found in small-town Alberta. As the community of Torrington continues to shrink, here's hoping the museum finds a way to survive, thrive, and grow. And to everyone who works in the world-famous Gopher Hole Museum, who has worked there, who continues creating it and keep it alive, I say thank you. As the Alvis fire hydrant comes on screen, well, thank you very much. I had a great time.
Traveling with Dan is presented by South Country Co-op.